Luke Weaver was DFA'd twice last season, once by the Cincinnati Reds and another time by the Seattle Mariners. The Yankees picked him up at the end of the 2023 season, getting a couple starts from him as their pitching staff was completely depleted. Nestor Cortez was out for the year, Luis Severino was out for the year, Carlos Rodon was completely ineffective, and Garrett Cole was their only reliable starter from Game 1 to Game 162. In 82 and 80 squad, the Yankees would make massive changes over the offseason to overhaul their roster and make significant improvements to their lineup. One of those improvements came in the form of adding Juan Soto. The star outfielder would come at a pretty hefty cost, however, as they would have to trade Michael King, who was not only one of their better starters down the stretch, but one of the more reliable relievers over the past couple of seasons. Randy Vasquez and Johnny Brito, who had started to come into their own as multi-inning relief options for the Yankees out of the bullpen, were also part of this deal, draining the organization of some of their pitching depth and requiring the Yankees to go after a guy like Luke Weaver, who could potentially be a multi-inning weapon for that bullpen. Luke Weaver was added to try to replenish some of the innings they were going to lose with Vasquez, Brito, and King gone, and so far, he has been so much better than I think anybody even anticipated he could be. And today, we're going to break down what's made Luke Weaver so effective, and while the Yankees should be excited about the profile he has and how he can contribute to this bullpen for the season. Before we get into today's video, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. It'd be greatly appreciated because it helps us do better in the algorithm and gets our videos out to more people. You guys can also turn on the notification bell if you guys want to stay up to date on our next posts. All it takes is one click, and if you guys want to join the conversation, you guys can check us out on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, or Facebook. And for written coverage on the Yankees and your other favorite New York sports teams, check out empiresportsmedia.com. Links are all in the description. And now, let's get into the video. I don't think Luke Weaver would shy away from the fact that last year was absolutely terrible for him on the mound. He put up a 6.40 ERA, striking out just 19.4% of batters faced with a 7.1% walk rate, and the worst part of it, a 2.11 home runs per 9. A lot of Luke Weaver's issues stem from a subpar arsenal. His pitch mix just wasn't very good. He graded out as a 95 stuff plus, and the depth of his arsenal wasn't great either. Typically, pitchers either have overwhelming stuff or they have a deep arsenal with excellent command that they can utilize to throw hitters off. Not every great pitcher has a great stuff plus, and not every great stuff plus results in a great pitcher. But in Luke Weaver's case, he didn't have the stuff, nor did he have the command or the depth of arsenal to have major league success. The Yankees identified that he could simplify his arsenal and potentially get more results trying to maximize what he already does well, which is spin the baseball with backspin that allows him to get right on his fastball and throw it up in the zone, generate sharp drop on his changeup, which allows it to play off of the fastball, and then spin cutters over the zone to kind of blend the two movement profiles together. After pitching to a 6.87 ERA with the Reds and a 6.08 ERA with the Mariners, Luke Weaver came over to the Yankees and pitched to a 3.38 ERA in 3 starts. Granted, it was a very small sample size, just 13 1/3 innings pitched, but we saw that he was able to improve his strikeout rate and be more effective attacking batters up and down in the zone. His north-south profile made him very deceptive. Batters oftentimes couldn't get a good read on what he was throwing, and it looked like the Yankees had found something here with Weaver. Now again, it was a small sample size, and his stuff plus actually dropped from 96 and 92 with the Reds and Mariners to 89, so the Yankees would have to identify how to improve his arsenal and get that to be better in order for him to really hit his potential. Let's take a look at his movement profiles from last year and try to identify some of the issues that he had. First and foremost, the four-seam fastball is pretty generic. 16 inches of induced vertical break, 94 miles per hour, nothing that's special with the vertical release point. Everything is pretty much in line with what the average right-handed pitcher would throw if they threw a four-seam fastball. As a result, that had a 17.5% whiff rate and didn't necessarily perform very well. As for the changeup, this was a plus pitch for him. At a 32.3% whiff rate, a good amount of vertical drop, and that allowed it to be a plus secondary pitch that played well off of his fastball and probably was his best offering last year. Looking at the knuckle curveball, it had the 3rd highest usage rate of any pitch in his arsenal at 11.8%, but unlike other curveballs and breaking balls, it did not generate a lot of swings and misses at just 16.7%. When you're not able to get over a curveball or a slider to put hitters away, but you continue going to that pitch, you find yourself nibbling, and an 0-2 count becomes a 3-2 count, a 3-2 count becomes an over-the-plate fastball, and an over-the-plate fastball becomes a souvenir to left, right, or center field. That would happen frequently to Luke Weaver, and the Yankees identified that as one of the problems with his repertoire. The Yankees actually had him increase his cutter usage, a pitch that he got a 25.2% whiff rate on, and really worked as a quality offering that he could throw reliably. He could throw it for strikes, he could get swings and misses, he could get soft contact on it, and the Yankees would identify this as another one of his pitches that he should continue to work on over the offseason and throw frequently in 2024. The slider and the sweeper suffered from very similar issues to his curveball, either not being able to generate enough whiffs or being damaged contact pitches that would just get crushed when left over the zone, and batters knew to lay off of it and wait for either a fastball over the heart of the plate or one of those breaking balls over the heart of the plate. Looking at what he does this year now, he is just throwing his fastball, cutter, and changeup. He's thrown in a couple of knuckle curves, but it's only at 1.6% usage. No sliders and no sweepers. The four-seamer usage at 44%, very similar to last year's at 43.5%. The cutter is at 28.6%, and the changeup is at 25.8%. So the cutter usage has nearly tripled, the changeup usage has gone up by 5.8%, and the efficiency of his repertoire has improved as well. First and foremost, the four-seam fastball has gotten a lot better. He's throwing it about 0.8 miles per hour harder. In recent outings, we've seen him average closer to 95, 96, and the vertical movement profile has significantly improved as well. He's averaging 18.2 inches of induced vertical break compared to 16 inches last year. That creates an outlier pitch, and in terms of where he's locating it, he's consistently commanding it up in the zone, which is where you're going to get most of your strikeouts on that kind of pitch. Nick Pollock came on our podcast over the weekend, and he discussed kind of how location plays into strikeouts. Having good stuff isn't enough in order to get swings and misses. You have to put those pitches in places where batters are going to be deceived and swing and miss. Throwing a fastball like his over the heart of the plate or in the lower quadrants of the zone won't result in the same efficiency as he'll have up in the zone. And on top of that improved vertical movement, he's also seen that it's improved the rest of his arsenal. The cutter isn't getting as many swings and misses at a 12.5% whiff rate, but because it blends in between the four-seamer and the changeup in terms of vertical movement, while not deviating much from the fastball in terms of horizontal movement, and blending in between these two movement profiles means he can get over for called strikes or generate some weird swings and get soft contact. The big pitch for him, though, has been the changeup. It has a 51% whiff rate, and it's a much better pitch than it was last year, even though last year it was a pretty quality offering. He's seen it increase its vertical drop, going from 8.2 inches of vertical break to 4.2. That increased drop has created a greater vertical separation from his fastball, as last year it was around 7.8 inches. This season, it is at 14 inches. That is a massive difference, and that's going to create weirder looks for opposing hitters who have gone from chasing just 24.9% of pitches Luke Weaver threw out of the zone last year to 33.3%. That's an increase from the 11th percentile to over the 80th percentile. And that's a massive difference for Weaver, who has oftentimes struggled with putting hitters away. The fastball and changeup are designed to go out of the zone and get swings and misses there. His swift rate on his fastball goes up when you put it out of the zone. It's down when it's in the zone. Same thing for the changeup. But the pitch that's in the zone the most is his cutter, because that pitch is designed to give up soft contact. Batters are averaging an exit velocity under 86 miles an hour, and overall, there is a greater margin for error here because of how much better his stuff is. His stuff plus has gone from 95 to 116, whereas the location plus has only dropped from 102 to 101. He is still an above average locator, and his stuff is so much better, creating a greater margin for error here. Weaver also has a great approach for trying to get chases. His first pitch strike percentage is 66.7%, that is significantly higher than the MLB average, meaning hitters are already behind in the count, and that sets up everything else. The statistical difference is staggering. He has a 2.59 ERA, a 2.90 FIP, and a 2.83 expected ERA with a 26.9% strikeout rate and just a 4.3% walk rate. He's kept his home runs per 9 down to 0.74, and in recent outings, he's looked even better than the numbers suggest. Over his last 16 2/3 innings pitched, we've seen the velocity go up from around 94 miles an hour to 95.4 miles an hour, and he has a 1.62 ERA with 23 strikeouts to just 1 walk and a 119 stuff plus. In fact, his overall stuff plus of 116 is higher than Edwin Diaz. Yes, Luke Weaver currently has a higher stuff plus than a guy you could argue is the best reliever in all of baseball. This is a really good pickup for the Yankees, and right now Luke Weaver is showing everybody that he can be an upper echelon reliever in this league. Thank you so much for sticking through to the end of the video. If you guys enjoyed today's episode and you guys enjoyed this breakdown, this style of content, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. All of your support goes such a long way towards helping us get to our goals in terms of viewership and subscribers. We'd love to hit 20K by the end of the MLB season, so if you guys would help us on that, that'd be great. It is all free. And of course, you guys can check us out on various social media platforms, whether that's Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, or of course, this YouTube page. Thank you again for tuning in. I'm Ryan from Fireside Yankees. You can follow me at Ryan Garcia ESM. We'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out, everybody.
Perfect.